Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to the 12 days of Christmas. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a palette collection and declutter. I have never once decluttered my collection and I think it is about time. I never really had a lot of makeup, but now that I have been purchasing a lot more things and just really getting palettes that I love and I reach for, I think it is definitely time to get rid of some stuff that I haven't used in a while or stuff that's really old. So this isn't by any means gonna be like getting rid of half of my collection, but there definitely are some palettes that it's their time. It's their time to leave my collection. So I'm gonna go over every single palette that I have, swatch some stuff, get rid of some stuff, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. So if that is something you're interested in seeing, just go ahead and keep watching. So as you can see, I have an overhead shot set up and I most certainly do not have the proper equipment for this. So there are currently 2 bags of Goya lentils weighing down the back of my camera. So please bear with me. And jumping right in, I am going to start with the palettes I picked up on Black Friday. I contemplated whether or not I wanted to show these because I do plan on doing a Black Friday haul video, but I am still waiting on a couple packages, so maybe I'll get the haul up first. If not, you can just pretend like you never saw these and act surprised in that video. So I did only pick up 1 palette from Colourpop. I know, shocking. But I did mention that I was interested in the Or Kid You Not palette, and for some reason my palette looks like it was dragged across the floor before they shipped it to me. But if I can angle this right. So here's what this one looks like. I haven't swatched these yet, and I'm going to wait for the haul video to do that. So there's the Or Kid You Not. I also picked up the Glamlite x Michaela palette. I really wanted to try Glamlite, and looking through all their palettes, this one seemed like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Look at that. Oh my god. But this one seemed like it had the best mix of neutrals and bright colors. So I picked this one up just to get a good idea of the formula, try out a bunch of colors, see how I feel about it. I also have not swatched this one yet, which is killing me. And next up, I did end up picking up the entire Legendary Diversa collection from Udin's Eye, and this is the palettes they did in collaboration with Annette, Judy, and Tina. So these just came in the mail today. I cannot wait to dip my fingers into these shimmer shades. Can we take a second and look at how incredible these look? I have also never tried anything from Udin's Eye. And the more I saw people play with these palettes, the more I knew I needed them in my life. And this one here is probably screaming to me the most. This shade down here, I don't know if you can tell. Please don't see me in the mirror. I don't know if you could tell, that looks like the most incredibly amazing duochrome blue-purple shade, which is like my favorite kind of eyeshadow, is a blue-purple duochrome. So not gonna swatch any of these right now. I will swatch them in my Black Friday haul video, so come back for that one if it is not up yet. If it is, I will link it here. If it is not, come back to see some swatches of these. And next I'm going to jump right in with Colourpop. I'm not going to declutter any of these just for kind of collector's purposes, but I do have, I believe, 28. I did do a video ranking all of my Colourpop palettes. I don't know if that is up yet or if it will be going up later, but definitely check out for that one if you are interested. So I'm just gonna run through these really quick. I do have the Creamsicle Quad. This one's amazing. I have the Rumor Has It 5-pan. I actually don't really like this one that much. If I were decluttering any of my Colourpop, this one would go. But since I am keeping them all for kind of reference and collector's purposes, it survives. And next I have my 9-pans. I do have Baby Got Peach, very pretty. I've got Tinkerbell, not one of my favorites, but this like gold shade is incredible. Next I've got Wild Child. I've got the Mandalorian or the Child palette, whatever this thing is called. This is incredible. Such a beautiful palette. I'm gonna try not to swatch the gold shade in every palette, but I definitely have a type. Next I have It's My Pleasure. This one has some really incredible shimmers in it as well. Stunning purple shimmers in that palette. Next, I've got Lilac You A Lot. Really pretty shimmers in this one. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna swatch a single matte, just as a little FYI here. Mattes are definitely not my favorites. I am a shimmer girl, so I apologize in advance. You're not gonna see a single matte swatch. Next, I've got That's Taupe, also a really nice one. Mint to Be, really pretty. The mint shimmers in here are really impressive for them to be such, okay, that was a horrible swatch. For them to be such light pastel colors, they are really, really pigmented and really nice. Next, I've got the Baroque Palette. This one has got some really interesting duochromes in it. Really pretty, like blue-brown kind of shades. And last up here, I do have Going Coconuts. Really pretty, basic, neutral palette. Next, I've got my 12 pans, starting with the Good as Gold. One of my favorites. I have used and abused this shade. It is definitely a more flaky kind of shimmer, but it is incredible on the lids. Absolutely stunning. Look at how reflective that is. Next, I have got the Witching Hour palette from Hocus Pocus Round 2. Not my absolute favorite palette again. I do have a ranking all my Colourpop palettes either already up or coming. I have no idea what order I'm posting these 12 Day of Christmas videos in. Wow, that's a really pretty color actually. I don't think I use that when I use this palette. Next, I have got Dream Street. This was in collaboration with Kathleen Lights a million years ago. I love this palette. Such a pretty, pretty color story. Kind of neutral with a pop of blue before neutral with a pop of blue got overdone. That shimmer is such a unique color. It's kind of blue, kind of brown. Very pretty. Next, I have I Think I Love You. And this is one of Colourpop's first 12 pan palettes, I believe. Really pretty. I've got tons of use out of that one as well. This one is the Element of Surprise. Definitely an older palette. I've got the My Little Pony. These are not quite as impressive. I feel like Colourpop definitely perfected their formula since then. That one's got a pretty blue shift to it as well. And next I have the Nightmare Before Christmas palette. And I do have videos on some of these, so I will either link them up here or put them in my description box if there is a video corresponding to any of these palettes. Next, I have Sweet Talk. This is one of my favorites from Colourpop. This shade is everything. That is a Super Shock shadow formula, and it is so sparkly, so glass-like and shiny. Very pretty. And last for my 12 pans, I do have the Whatever palette. Very underrated palette from Colourpop. This, oh, look at that. Look at that orangey copper colored shimmer. That is stunning. I am a sucker for this kind of color eyeshadow. So next up, I have my larger palettes from Colourpop, starting with the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer palette. This one is one of my newer palettes, very pretty. I also have a video on this one with full swatches. I also have the Hocus Pocus Round 1 palette. This is such a gorgeous palette. I bought it when it first released and I never used it because I was keeping it as like a collector's item. And then I rebought it this year when they released it, and I'm so mad that I had this palette for a whole year and never used it. This is like the goldy green of my dreams. This is such a perfect olive tone green color in here, and it's called Diabos, so there's that. I also have the Colourpop X Powerpuff Girls. This is a very pretty one as well. I have got the Garden Variety. A little bit more basic. This shade right here is really pretty though. I believe that one is also a Super Shock shadow. Sorry if the lighting is off. It's like 5 o'clock and it is so dark already. Next I have the Golden State of Mind. This is an older holiday palette. I don't even know if these still... Oh, they definitely swatch a little dry. Actually, that's not bad for a palette that's pretty old. I would still use this though. It's not something I wouldn't use on my eyes. Next I have the All I See Is Magic. This is a really pretty shade. I have not gotten nearly enough use out of some of my older palettes. Wow, that is a stunning shade. So pretty. And the last up for Colourpop, I do have the Chasing Rainbows. Really pretty palette as well. This duochrome in the corner is Calling My Name. That's another one of those like almost a blue-red kind of. Really pretty. All right, so I grabbed another stack of palettes out my drawer, and some of these, just looking at it, I already know they're gonna go, so there is some decluttering coming up. Let's start with this one. This one is the Caliente palette from Artist Couture. I don't like this. I just spoke about Artist Couture in a new makeup release video, and it's not great. Like, it's just not. That shimmer, it's pretty, but it felt so dry to the touch. Oh my god, like, they look dry. That is like the roughest, driest swatch ever. I do not like this. I feel like it is going to be difficult for me to part with stuff. I don't really have a huge collection. I never really used to buy myself any makeup because I'm pretty responsible with money and makeup was just never really a priority. So I would rather have a ton of makeup that I didn't really use over buying really good quality stuff. So I'm actually going to get rid of this one. First palette on the chopping block. This is just not good. So, one down. Next, I have this little palette from Butter London. It doesn't have a name. This one came from a BoxyCharm, so there's probably going to be a lot of BoxyCharm palettes that are going to be on the chopping block just because I didn't pick them out, so they're probably not something I'm really going to use, but this is another BoxyCharm palette. It's not bad. It's okay. They're alright. They're more of satin shades than really sparkly shimmers. That one was a little weak. I have never used this palette ever. So this one is also going to go. I have this one here from Dominique Cosmetics. This is Celestial Thunder. This one also came in a BoxyCharm. I don't think I've ever used this one either. The mattes do seem really nice. Oh, I swatched a matte. There you can see my my cardboard boxes. The shimmers on this one definitely feel a little drier. This really sparkly shade is pretty. This one's okay. Maybe I'll hang on to this one. This one isn't too bad. Maybe I will try to reach for this one and see if I actually do maybe like the formula. Next, I have a classic. This is the Urban Decay Electric Palette. I wanted this palette so bad. Every time I would go to a Sephora with my sister, I would swatch it, and she ended up getting it for me for Christmas. And I have never once put this on my eyes. That is so sad. This is very old. It actually still swatches pretty good. They did remake this palette, but from what I heard, it was nowhere near the original's quality. Wow. Damn, those are still nice. Wow. Would I put this on my eyes? This is easily like 7 years old, maybe? Yeah, that's old. I don't know if I would put it on my eyes, but this is not going anywhere. If anything, I would keep this for nostalgia purposes. This is my first ever like higher end palette, and I didn't even get any use out of it, but this is not going anywhere. I will hold on to this one forever. So here we have the Storybook Cosmetics, Once Upon a Time, Storybook, Robin Hood. The Storybook Cosmetics Robin Hood palette. This is another BoxyCharm palette. This is so big, like I get it, it's really pretty. It looks like a book. If you have a bunch of them, you can like put them on a shelf. They look nice, but like, this is so unnecessarily thick. This gold is incredible. This is such a beautiful gold. This green is really pretty as well. But like, I've never used this. Damn, that gold is nice. Wow, that is so pretty. Do I want to keep this? No. I totally planned on decluttering this one before I even started filming. Can I depot this? I wonder if I can break this open and depot just the gold and the green. Mattes are alright. Yeah, mattes aren't much to write home about, but that gold though, like, damn. Maybe I will try to depot this. I feel like I'm gonna completely destroy it, but I kind of want to keep that gold and maybe the green. So the palette itself is gonna go. Maybe I will try to get those two shades out, but the whole thing is not staying in my collection. Next, I have this Hey Charmer palette. This was BoxyCharm's own palette that they did. I have also never used this on my eyes. I do a look with every single palette I get in BoxyCharm for my BoxyCharm unboxings, but these I got before I had a channel, so I didn't use them. Wow. Come on. I planned on decluttering this one too. Why are these two shades so pretty? Okay, that's gorgeous. Those are so pretty. But like, I've never reached for this, ever. Ever once. No. This one's gonna go. It's gonna go. I've never reached for it. I'm never gonna reach for it. That one's also going. Next, I have this little palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles, and this is the Party Animal palette. Also a BoxyCharm palette. This is just not great. Like, look how that swatch even picked up. Look at that. Ew. That is such a, like, clumpy shade. It is pretty once you blend it out, but I, like, really had to blend it out. This, like, pink matte with glitter in it. Yeah, this is not great. I feel like some of these I should keep for like future Halloween looks, because I might need a fluorescent yellow. But they're not even good though. Like, oh my god, that orange feels so dry. Yeah, this is probably gonna go. I'm gonna get rid of that. So next I have some Violet Voss palettes. These are all BoxyCharm palettes as well. This one I actually really enjoyed. This is the I Love You Forever. I am reading these upside down. This palette I was pretty impressed with. I did a look in my unboxing video, and these shimmers are really beautiful. I do have a newfound love for green eyeshadow, so I think I'm gonna hang on to this one just to have something from the brand that I actually really enjoy. As for these other ones, this one is the Violet Sunset. I used this one in my most recent BoxyCharm unboxing. I wasn't too impressed with this one. It was okay. This purple shimmer is just, it's alright. But I kind of feel like something in this palette actually irritated my eyes. My eyes were kind of like itchy and they burned a little after this. So I am going to go ahead and declutter this one, and just because if it did irritate my eyes, it's not worth keeping, especially if this is just not something I would reach for over any other purple palette that I have. And plus I think one of my sisters might actually really enjoy this, so that one is going to go as well. Next I have these two. This is the Essentials and Essentials Volume 2. I don't think I have ever reached for either one of these. I might have used one of them in a BoxyCharm video, but I don't know. They're okay. Violet Voss isn't my favorite formula. That's a really pretty shade, but it's very like subtle. You can barely see it. That blue is pretty too, but I just don't really enjoy this color story. So this one is going to go for sure, and this one, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one too. I just don't see myself reaching for these over any of my other palettes. But next I've got a couple here from Ace Beauté. I have got the Scarlett Dusk palette. This seems like a really pretty little pink tone palette. Ooh, these shimmers don't feel great. Ace Beauté did redo their formula and completely reformulate everything. Yeah, these are not really great, and I do have a lot of pink tone palettes that I love. This palette also only has 4 shimmers, which is just not my favorite kind of shimmer to matte ratio. Packaging is pretty, but this one is gonna go. I also have the Grandiose Palette. This one again is a very pretty kind of pink neutral tone palette. These look a little more impressive. If I had to describe their shimmer formula, I would describe it as like thick almost. Like they're that very heavy kind of shimmer. These two shades are absolutely stunning, but I do feel like I have these shades a million times over in other palettes that I'm probably gonna reach for over this one, so this one can go as well. So last up here from Ace Beauté, I have the Nostalgia palette. And this one actually came in clutch at Halloween. I don't know if you could tell, I like destroyed this yellow shade up here. I think I'm actually going to hang on to this one because I don't have a lot of like yellows and oranges. They're not shades I really tend to reach for, so I'm gonna keep this one honestly more for Halloween purposes because this one came in really handy and I might need it for next year. So this one I'm going to hang on to. Next, I grabbed my Juvia's Place palettes. I don't have a ton, but I do love Juvia's Place. So I do have the Zulu palette. These are, listen, some of the most incredible shimmer shades, hands down, of any brand. I wish this palette had more shimmers, but this is such a beautiful, actually, I have this yellow and this orange in here. Do I need this? I totally forgot about my Juvia's Place palette when I did my Halloween looks. And I already know that these are gonna like blow these out of the water. You know what, I'm gonna hang on to this one for now. Maybe I don't need both, but back to this one. Juvia's Place palettes are incredible. These shimmers are hands down some of the best in the game. Look how gorgeous that pinky gold duochrome is. This green is incredible. If these shades don't just scream Easter Sunday, I don't know what does. And I am definitely not decluttering any of my Juvia's Place. I also have the Nubian. I think this is one of their very first palettes, if not their first. This one is not the most impressive. Some of these shimmers are not that, like these two over here are definitely that incredible formula. Some of these are a little bit softer. As you can see, this one is the incredible formula. And these ones are a little bit of more of a satin, but look at that. Still, even not their best is still amazing. So definitely not getting rid of these either. Next, I have the Warrior palette, and this is one of my absolute favorite palettes in my collection. Like, I don't even know which ones to swatch, because look at these eyeshadows. Like, it looks like I just dipped my fingers in melted metal, which would probably hurt a lot. I mean, do you even have to say anything about Juvia's Place eyeshadows? Look at that. Look at those swatches. Absolutely incredible. Highly recommend if you are looking for a gold, coppery, neutral kind of palette. I didn't think I was going to swatch this many, but I personally love a declutter that has some swatches in it. If you're not going to swatch anything, I don't want to watch it. And last up, I do have the Masquerade palette. This is the really big one. They no longer sell these huge palettes. This in comparison to a Colourpop palette. It is huge. It has the bigger pans. They do still have this in the little version though. I don't use this nearly as much as I should. Like, look at that blue. I'm sorry I'm yelling at you, but they're so incredible. Look at these colors. Look at how incredible these eyeshadows are. That blue is everything. So obviously not getting rid of that one either. So next I have got the Chocolate Gold from Too Faced, and I'm pretty sure this is the only Too Faced palette I have ever owned. I like this palette a lot. I think it's got some really beautiful shimmers in it. It's got your essential mattes over here. It also smells like chocolate. Like, what more could you want? It's also got some purples, some greens, some coppers. This is a really nice little palette. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this. It also is old as dirt, but I would still put this on my eyes. They still perform beautifully, and I'm not gonna get rid of this one either. So next up, I have the Sigma Cor de Rosa palette. This is such a stunning palette. You can tell I love a palette if I keep it in the box. Just saying. This is one of my favorites. This is like my go-to pinky rosy kind of palette. This is so beautiful. I love this super sparkly shade up here in the corner. The brush that comes with it is really, really good quality. Like, even the clear plastic is amazingly gorgeous. This is so pretty. This one's not going anywhere. So next up here, I have this Beauty Creations Cali Chic palette. This also came in a BoxyCharm. This is a really pretty little neutral palette, but wow, that's nice. Oh my god, that's gorgeous. I don't need it. I don't need it. This one I also was pretty sure I was going to be decluttering, but like, that shade? It is pretty, but honestly, I have these shades a billion times over. I'm never gonna reach for this over other palettes that I have, so I am gonna declutter this one as well. Next, I have this Real Her Be Your Own Kind of Beauty palette. This is also a BoxyCharm palette. This is a very cool toned palette, not my favorite kind of undertone for shadows. It's okay. It does look like I got a little bit of use out of it, but I have not reached for this in forever. This is kind of old. I might actually throw this one in the garbage, but either way, this one is getting decluttered. Next, I have this Pure Soiree Diaries palette. This one I actually got a lot of use out of. Like, this was my go-to neutral palette when I first got it. I mean, they're pretty. It swatches nice, but like, am I really gonna reach for this over anything else that I have? Probably not. So I am gonna get rid of this one as well. This one is pretty old. I might throw this one out, but either way, it's got to go. Next, I have this BoxyCharm X Pure palette, and that's gonna go. I'm probably not ever gonna reach for that, so that one's gone. Next, I have this Evening Glamour palette from Blink. It's pretty. This shade right here, I love this kind of like pinky gold duochrome kind of shade. That one's really nice as well, but I've never reached for this, and I probably am never going to. So this one is gonna go as well. I thought I was gonna have a harder time decluttering some of these. And next up we have the I Am a Mess and Covered in Glitter. So next up we have the Pure Festival palettes. I do think I reached for this one a couple times, but yeah, I have way more impressive shades than that, so this one is gonna go as well. Wow, I'm actually impressed with myself. So next up, I do have 3 of these little e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. I've got Berry Bad, Cream and Sugar, and Pumpkin Pie. These kind of broke the internet when they first released, and they're really good. These are like $3. These are great little all-in-one kind of palettes. I think they were pretty much designed to have a complete look in each of them. These are nice. I'm not getting rid of them, and it's also great to have these for YouTube purposes because people love these, so not getting rid of any of these. Next, I have this Dose of Colors Pretty Cool palette. When I got this in a BoxyCharm, because they do have a bunch of different colors, I was so disappointed that I got the cool tone version. I don't tend to reach for cool tone colors, but this palette is really nice. I've actually used it a couple of times, and it's nice to have a set of cool toned mattes that I can reach for and mix and match with any kind of cool tone shimmer I want to use, so I'm actually going to hang on to this one. Next, I have my Lethal Cosmetics Lethal is Dead palette they did in collaboration with Teresa is Dead. This is an absolutely beautiful color story. I love this. These shimmers are stunning. The mattes are not my absolute favorite. They are a little bit harder for me to work with, and that could just be user error. This is the first thing I've ever tried from Lethal Cosmetics, so definitely hanging on to it. I love Teresa. She is so hilarious, so I'm keeping this. I do like the formula. A little harder to work with, but this is not going anywhere. So next I have got these 2 little cutie palettes from Nabla. I've got the Midnight Cutie Palette and the Analog Cutie Palette. These are so nice. These are the first eyeshadows I ever tried from Nabla, and they are incredible. Like, just look. Just look. Like, this pinky gold duochrome puts every pinky gold duochrome I have to shame. That color is incredible. And this blue, don't even get me started. I use this in one of my Halloween looks. It is such a gorgeous, sparkly topper kind of shade. These are beautiful. Love these. Really impressed with these eyeshadows. Not going anywhere. So next up, I do have 2 palettes here from Alamar Cosmetics. This is the Reina del Caribe palette. This is such a good palette. Like, this color up here is stunning. So absolutely gorgeous. Look at that shade. This is... I'm stuck. You know an eyeshadow is gorgeous when you swatch it and you just stop talking. Look at that, it just keeps going. This is the most gorgeous sagey green kind of color. I love this shadow. This is definitely my favorite color in the palette. She also did release some highlighters inspired by this like inner corner shade up here. Really pretty. I do love this palette. I don't use it as much as I should, but I definitely should probably put this to the front of my collection so that I reach for it more often, but not getting rid of that one. So next up here, I do have the Spanglish palette, and this is a very pinky purple tone palette. Also absolutely gorgeous. These shimmers are not quite as almost wet feeling as this one is here, but still beautiful. Again, I don't use this as much as I probably should, but definitely hanging on to this one. So next up here, I do have the Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams palette, and this palette is absolutely gorgeous. I love the Give Me Glow eyeshadow formula. Their shimmers are some of my absolute favorites. Like, look at that color. Look at it. These are insane. So beautiful. So pigmented, especially for pastels. Look at how amazing that purple is. So definitely not getting rid of this one. So next up here, I have my Collidos palettes. And like I mentioned, if I really love a palette, they stay in the boxes. So that just goes to show you that none of these are going anywhere. This is my Lunar Lavender, and this packaging is everything. Let's get the dirty makeup wipe out the corner. This palette is absolutely everything. These shimmers, like, I don't even want to swatch them because I don't want to waste them. Absolutely stunning. None of my Collidos palettes are going anywhere. And these are definitely more of these like shimmery topper shades. These were also very, very light swatches, but they do these shimmery toppers so beautifully. Next here, I have the Flower Punk palettes. And this palette is a work of art. Definitely not the most practical packaging of any palette I have, but absolutely gorgeous. This color story is so unique. These shimmers are incredible. This, like, look at it. Look at how stunning that shade is. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Next up here, I do have my Club Nebula palette, and this one was in collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist. This is another absolutely stunning palette. The packaging is everything. The color story is so unique to anything I have. These shimmers, again, are everything and more. This color, I don't even want to touch this because this was limited edition and it is gone for good. So I can never replace this one if I use it or pan a shade. So very, very light swatches of those two up there, but definitely not getting rid of that one. And last up here for Collidos, I do have the Escape Pod palette. This is another beautiful color story. A whole row and one extra of these really beautiful topper shimmer kinds of colors. Again, not going anywhere. Love, love, love Collidos. They have become one of my favorite brands. And next up here, I do have these BH Sweet Shop palettes. They are also all in their unicartons because they are so dang cute. And I have bubblegum, sugar cone, cotton candy, and pistachio. These kind of also broke the internet. These are incredible quality, such an affordable price. I have very much enjoyed playing with these. So these are, again, not going anywhere. They are gorgeous. This shade right here. Oh, look. Look at this shade. Look at it. Look. Enough said. So, not getting rid of those. Next up, I have this dinosaur. Oh, there's me. This is the Heavy Metals palette, I think it's called. I don't see a name on it, but I'm pretty sure this is the Heavy Metals palette by Urban Decay. Everyone literally despised this palette because of the packaging. It is very different. It has a mirror in the middle. It's apparently very cold in this room. This is an all shimmer palette. I bought this, I can't even, there we go. I bought this with a gift card. I got a gift card for Christmas once, and I did research on which palette I wanted, and I ultimately picked this one up, and I have to say, I barely ever used it. I maybe reached into it a couple times. These shimmers are, they're okay. They're kind of that thicker formula. The colorful ones aren't all that impressive. Like, I'm definitely not ever gonna reach for that over that. Like, come on now. But I am gonna hang on to this just because I like it. I don't hate the packaging as much as everyone else does. It's purple, it's different. I'm gonna hang on to this one. I do probably not think I'm gonna reach for it, but I still wanna have it. Let me live. So next up here, I do have these 4 little palettes from e.l.f. and these are so old, they are going straight into the garbage. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. You have got to go. These are the Mad for Matte, Everyday Smoky, Sunset Prism Palette, and Naked Prism Palette. Like I said, these are ancient. I would not put these on my eyes. They're honestly probably not all that impressive compared to some of the eyeshadow quality I have now, so I am getting rid of all 4 of these. So next up, I do have these 2 little Natasha Denona palettes. This one is the Jubilee palette, and this one is the Peak palette. Both of these I got in BoxyCharms. These are really nice little palettes. I love this one. I wish it had a few more shimmers, but this is such a beautiful, like, all-in-one pinky tone neutral palette. This one is a little more unique. Definitely not something I have any kind of similar color story to. So I'm going to keep both of these. I don't have a ton from Natasha Denona, so I'm keeping these. Since we're on the topic of Natasha Denona, I did recently pick up my Dream palette that I have been lusting after for many years. This is a gold palette. I have been playing with this one a little bit and trying it out. This palette is absolutely beautiful. Definitely lives up to the hype. Like, look at that shadow. And this is more of a sparkly topper shade. So obviously this is not going anywhere. And since we're on the topic of extremely expensive palettes, I do have the Pat McGrath Labs Celestial Odyssey palette. This one I have played with a few times as well. This is a more recent addition to my collection, and this one is absolutely beautiful. I do have a full video swatching this palette on my channel. Let's just go with the green one. Yeah, ugh, look at that. Look at that blue shade. Beautiful. Actually pretty similar to the one in the BH Cosmetics palette, which is like $16, but yeah, also not going anywhere. Some palettes that might be leaving my collection. I have a stack of palettes on the chopping block. This is the Crown Pro No Name. No name, no info, no nothing. This is another BoxyCharm palette. It's okay. It's a pinky tone, kind of neutral palette. That is a very pretty pinky gold kind of shade, but ugh, this just has that like really cheap eyeshadow smell. I'm probably not ever gonna reach for this over any of my other pinky warm neutral kind of palettes, so even though that one shade is really pretty, I think this one is going to go as well. Next up here, I have this palette from Ciate London, and this is the Editor palette. I have never once used this on my eyes, but this one actually does look really pretty. This green looks gorgeous. Wow. Okay. Maybe I'll hang on to this one. So I think I'm actually gonna hang on to this one. I don't have anything else from the brand, and the swatches actually look pretty nice, so maybe I will try to make myself use this. Next up, I have these 3 palettes from Tarte, and these are Tarte Rainforest of the Sea, and then Volume 2 and Volume 3. These are painfully boring, like painfully boring. I should probably get rid of these because I will never reach for these. I think I'm gonna get rid of the Cool Tone one. My mom might like this one. And I should just get rid of both, but I'm gonna put them in the maybe pile because I'm a sucker for the packaging. So next up, we have a palette that you could not pry out of my cold, dead hands. This is the Dominique Cosmetics Plain Jane palette, and it is one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen. This shade right here, I'm pretty sure that is the actual color of my soul. It is a purple to blue duochrome, I'm sure of that. This palette is full of the most amazing, stunning, shifty, shiny, sparkly shadows, and like I said, pry it from my cold dead hands. Try, I dare you. This is not going anywhere. Next up, we have this little palette. This is from Naked Cosmetics. This came in a BoxyCharm. I have never used this, but these shades are so nice. They're so nice. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm keeping this. I don't know if I'll ever reach for it. Maybe I will try to make myself use it, but I'm keeping this. Look at these. These are gorgeous. Next up here, I have the Venus 3 from Lime Crime. This came in a BoxyCharm. It wasn't my favorite palette ever, but I am going to hang on to it just to have something from the brand. I'll keep it a little bit longer. Maybe I'll reach for it. So last up here, I've got one little batch of BoxyCharm palettes. This is from Crown. This is the Glam Metals. I've never reached for this, probably never going to, so this one is gonna go. So next up here, I have the Winky Lux Kitten palette. I don't think I've ever really used this either. This shade is kind of cool. I'm gonna hang on to it just to have something from the brand, and it's got kittens on it. I'm weak, what can I say? Next up, I have a Stowaway from Ace Beauté. This one was not with the other ones, so this one is a more recent palette. I did get this in a BoxyCharm. It's okay. I think this might be their new formula. I like the packaging. I just got it, so I think I'm gonna hang on to this one as well, just to have something more recent from the brand. And I think this is one of the last ones. I've got this Dido palette, maybe? This is a Venus palette. I also got this in a BoxyCharm. This palette surprised the crap out of me. These shimmers are so nice and so unique. I am actually going to hang on to this one. This is one of the more surprising palettes I've gotten in a BoxyCharm, so I'm gonna hang on to this one for a while. And last, I have this little palette. It just completely self-destructed. It was already broken, and it has been destroyed. It's all over my drawer. It's everywhere. This is a palette from Blink. I actually really like this, though. These shimmers are so nice. Is it bad that I want to hang on to this? This thing is destroyed. I think I'm gonna keep it though. Maybe if I put it in like a Ziploc bag. I'm gonna keep it. They're so nice. These, look at that. I'm keeping this. Don't judge me. I'm keeping this. Maybe not all 3 chunks of it, but I am keeping this. So if my numbers are correct, I am decluttering a total of 23 palettes, and I believe I am keeping 75. So not bad. I am actually a little surprised that I'm getting rid of this many. And honestly, almost every single one of these I got in a BoxyCharm, which is really kind of sad. I think I only bought these for the e.l.f. palettes. Everything else was BoxyCharm. So this is another reason why I canceled my BoxyCharm. I knew I was going to be doing this declutter, and I already had in mind that most of these were going to go, so It's just not worth me getting eyeshadow palettes and makeup that I am not using. This is sad that I have had this many in my collection and never even touched some of them. So I'm gonna let my sisters go through this and my mom see what they want to take. Some of these are going straight in the garbage. Maybe I will look for a women's shelter if I can donate gently used makeup in my area. And that was it. I feel good. My collection feels like it is more curated. I know that I have stuff that I love, that I'm going to use, that I'm going to reach for, and all of this can go. Go to a new home, go to someone that might enjoy it. And now I have the pleasure of putting every single one of these, minus these, back into my drawer, which is absolutely not happening today. So that was it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to come back for the rest of the 12 days of Christmas, and I hope that you would consider liking, subscribing, and coming back for some more content. Bye!